There you are.
Okay, hopefully this worked. Welcome, empowered nurses. I'm excited. This is my first pop-up live stream. I thought it would be fun to get together. And I don't know why
Oh,
I am having some reverberation. So, and I don't know why. Okay, this should work now. Awesome. Okay, welcome everybody. Is it still going? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. And I think we're on the screen now, so that's good. My first one, so I apologize for the hiccups here. But anyways, welcome. I'm so excited that you are here, and I'm here with Mr. Midwife. Welcome. How are you?
Hi, all.
And Mr. Midwife is an APRN CNM midwife. Does OB and just so I wanted to get together just to have a chat and talk about success and what are some success principles and how you can improve your life and your practice and your career. And I'm hoping by the end of this session you'll be like, oh wow, I feel so empowered and amazed and excited to be successful. So if you're here and you want to put a question in the chat, we'd love to hear and make this interactive for you. But Mr. Midwife, can you just share a little bit about yourself and your background?
Well, I'm short, fat, and ugly, and that's about all you need to know. Um, I spent about 18 years in labor and delivery. My wife at the time, at about the 18-year mark, said, "You can either get on or get off or do something because we need to get going here." So she encouraged me to go back to midwifery school, which I did. And I've been a certified nurse midwife for about 4 years now. Just picked up a new gig. I'll be starting here in about August or September in the southwest part of the United States. And there you are. Lori was kind enough to review my contract for me and give me some pointers on it. So appreciate that, Lori. Do appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm excited to have you here. So, today we want to talk about success. And obviously, you have been very successful with your education and your career. So, when you decided to go to school to be a midwife, did you know where you would have to go, what the requirements were, or anything?
So I'm a complete dummy when it comes to that kind of thing. Several years, probably 5 years before I went back to school, um, this other midwife that I kind of interacted with on the labor and delivery unit said, you need to go on to be a midwife. And I said, yeah, okay, whatever. She said, there's this really good school out in, and she told me where it was. And I took that in, absorbed it, went home later that day and talked about it with my wife. I said, just throwing it out there that, this other midwife that I had talked to suggested this school, and she said it's a really good program. So I put that in a box, put it up on my shelf, and that's where I left it until my wife rattled my chain and said, you need to get going here. So I didn't know the requirements. That did take a little bit of looking. And when I started looking, I looked at different places. There's a couple in California, one in Utah, one down in Georgia, and there's a couple others in the United States. And I did a little bit of digging, but I went with her um, recommendation. I looked more at their school. Phenomenal program. It wasn't. I'm not really the academic type, but reading through their requirements, reading through their expectations, I did make some phone calls out there to them. I said, you know, what do you require? What do you want? And the lady that I spoke to on the phone said, we're pretty open about most things. So we'll take, she didn't say we'll take anybody, but that's kind of what she alluded to. And I said, well, what about a midwife with a Y chromosome, which is my biggest concern? And she said, not a problem. So I paid the $100 application fee, said that's $100 wasted because they're never going to take me. But lo and behold, a couple weeks later, I got the letter in the mail. It said, welcome to our program. And I started a couple months later. So here I am.
Great.
And at present, I am about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from finishing my doctorate through their program.
Wonderful. Fantastic. So my point is, when you have a desire to do something, you may not know how, but you can do it. because you wouldn't have that desire if you couldn't do it. So I always joke that I have no desire to be an airline pilot or an astronaut or president, even a marathon runner, because I'm built like a terrier instead of a greyhound. I don't have, but I know that if I get an idea, then I absolutely can have it come true. And that's the first secret of success is desire. What is your desire? If you have a desire, you may not know how. And as nurses, we want to know the policy and procedure. We want to know how. If I said to you, Mr. Midwife, can you go do an appendectomy in the patient in room 5? What would you say?
I'd say, let me go to medical school first. Let me get the textbooks out. I'll watch a few YouTube videos. I'll be back at you in 15 years. But yeah, you have to go learn it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have a desire, you absolutely can do it. You may not know how, but the how always shows up. Just like for you going to get your CNM, the how showed up. You just knew you had to apply to a couple schools, and you got into your preferred school, and you didn't know what classes you'd take, what professors you'd have. You didn't know how you would get a job being a CNM. You didn't know any of that, but the how shows up. So when you have that desire, the how always shows up.
And
so
quite
if you
frankly,
can believe
when I started the program, I was scared to death. I hadn't been in school in nearly 20 years. All these young people who were smarter than me, good with technology, which I'm not. I was scared. But like a friend of mine always says, how to eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yep.
So I got up every morning, kept putting one foot in front of each other, did one assignment, and then the next assignment, and the next assignment, and 2.5 years later, I'm CNM.
Yeah. So we're talking success here, and obviously, you've been very successful in your career, and you had a desire, and again, you don't have to know how, you just have to know what your desire is, and then you have to take action. Nothing happens if you don't take action. Like if you didn't go to the classes, if you didn't graduate, you didn't get the results. You don't get any results without taking action. And you may not know what action to take, and that's okay. You just take the next step. Like as nurses, we want the whole plan laid out in front of us, and it doesn't work like that. It's like the yellow brick road. You take one step at a time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
right.
what else are other tools that you use to be successful?
My biggest tool was perseverance. I'm not the type of person to be told no. If you tell me no, I'm going to get irritated about it. I'm irritated with you, and then I'm just going to go do it anyway. So.
Okay, yeah. So persistence, definitely persistence pays, because if you're not persistent, you're not going to get the results.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Things in nursing are changing quite a bit. But before we go to that, you lost a lot of weight, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I thought you
I
did.
gained about 10 pounds in the last little while.
But when I met you in Phoenix, you had lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I lost about 15 pounds.
Yeah, that's great. So let's compare the tools that you use to lose weight compared to the tools that you use to be successful in your career. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so persistence, we've already talked about, right? You have to be persistent. You have to have the desire to lose the weight, right?
Yes.
And what else? What are other keys for success?
You have to have dedication. You got to follow the program. You got to do. You got to eat the elephant. I'm sending my daughter off to college here in August. She'll be going somewhere north of where I'm at now, and she's nervous. She's only 17 at the moment. She's nervous about doing this and how am I going to do this? And just eat the elephant, one bite at a time. There's going to be one class probably every term, at least one assignment every term you're going to fail. It's just going to happen. When that happens, you don't freak out. You stop, you reconsider, what did I do wrong? What do I need to change? And go through that kind of thing with yourself and figure out what do I need to do next, and then you go on. And one small hiccup or a pothole in the road doesn't end the story. You just got to drive around it, over it, under it, to the side of it. You got to do something around it. So
That's great. That's so true. And I always say there is no failure. There's only learning lessons.
right
Because
there you go. I like that.
because there really isn't failure, and there's only two ways to fail in your desire to have something happen. And the first way is you don't take any action. If you didn't go to any of your classes, and you wouldn't get the results, right?
That's correct.
You gotta take the action. And then the other way you're going to fail is if you have a subconscious belief that is not serving you, a subconscious belief like you're not worthy or not deserving to get the results that you want. And that's a little bit harder to take care of because your subconscious believes everything is true. And so if you believe you're going to fail, you're going to fail. If you believe you're going to be successful in losing weight, you're going to be successful. If you believe you're going to be successful in your nursing education program, you'll be successful.
Well, wasn't it Henry Ford that said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right?
That's my favorite quote. I absolutely love that. Yeah. And I see we have some people watching this live stream. You can put any comments you want in the chat. We're happy to answer anything. We'd love to hear from you. I want to make this a dialogue, not a monologue, or not us talking to you.
Lori, my computer's being a little wonky. I'm going to go out and come back in. I'll be back in just a moment, okay?
Okay, great. Okay. Well, welcome to the new people that just joined us. We're talking success. We're doing a live stream, my first ever, and we do have Mr. Midwife here. And the reason why we're doing a live stream on success is because I am having a 3-day event, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the event is called CodeNewYouEvent.com. I'll put it in the chat. CodeNewYouEvent.com. And the beauty of CodeNewYouEvent.com, the whole idea of this came from when you were in when we have patients who have code blues and they're resuscitated, they're able to come back to their life and have a new lease on life. And so this Code New You event is for you to get a new lease on life, to get re-inspired, get re-excited, get re-energized. When we were a kid growing up, we had all these hopes and dreams. Put it in the chat. I'd love to hear what your hopes and dreams were as a child. I know I had some absolutely crazy ones, but I'd love to hear. Put it in the chat. What were some of your hopes and dreams? And then as life gets in our way, we wind up being frustrated and not accomplishing, and we just get stuck in the day-to-day. We get caught on a hamster wheel of I gotta get up before the sun, I gotta get ready for work, I gotta put my scrubs on, drive to the hospital in the dark. I won't even see light because 12-hour shifts. Hoping to at least be able to go to the bathroom or get a meal or get a drink or something while you're working, and then coming home and having to hurry up and go to sleep and do it all over again. So our hopes and our dreams get pushed to the side. And I want you to get back in touch with what excited you, what mattered to you, what was important to you, what made your heart sing, so that you can get the results that you want in your life and in your and if you have a business, in your business as well. So I'd love to hear in the chat any what were your dreams? What did you want to achieve when you were growing up that you haven't achieved? Like, for example, if you wanted to sing, are you taking singing lessons? If you wanted to be a baseball player or basketball or softball or whatever it is, why don't you join a league? Why don't you get remember that desire that you had, those joys, those passions that you had growing up. And in this event, we're going to teach you some of the success principles. So Mr. Midwife is back, so welcome back.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know what's
great.
going on, but it was going on. So
Okay, so we were talking about my event that we have coming up, codenewevent.com, and about how many of us have these hopes and dreams and desires, and we get so caught up in the day-to-day, we forget what really matters to us and what we want to accomplish, and what our dreams are. It really hit after COVID for me. It was like during COVID, I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Australia. It's just been my desire, and finally, after COVID, I was able to go. But if we weren't able to travel again, I would have, that dream would have never happened. I would not have been able to live my life and not have held a koala bear in my arms or pet a kangaroo or any of those other things.
right.
Yeah. So, Mr. Midwife, you're starting this new job, and so what else is on the horizon for you?
Well,
What
as I
other-
said, in about 2 weeks, I finished my doctoral program.
Yes.
And I don't know that that's going to get me anywhere. I'm not going to lie, it was a grueling process. I got up every morning thinking I quit, but then I'd have a talk with me, myself, and we'd have a little community meeting, and just eat the elephant. You're so close. And just in the last probably month, I quit. No, you can't. You're only 4 weeks away. I quit. You can't. You're only 3 weeks away. I got up yesterday morning. I quit. I'm like, you can't. You're only a week and a half away. You're done. You're done. So it's just little pep talks with yourself, and just, I don't know how better to say it, just one bite at a time. Take one step at a time, one assignment at a time, one obstacle at a time. And it's really, really hard to not get overwhelmed and feel like you're drowning. But just keep going. Perseverance, just keep going.
Well, you bring up a great point. You can't succeed if you quit, right? I should add that to the list. You can't.
Yep.
When you say you can't fail, that means the only way you can fail is if you quit.
Right.
So again, you wouldn't have that desire if you couldn't do it, and you are so close now. And look what would have happened if you quit. You wouldn't have gotten there.
Yeah, I tell people a story. This is well before Moses was a child. He wasn't even born yet, I don't think. But anyway, back in high school, I had a friend of mine who he dropped out of high school. We were supposed to graduate the third week of May. He dropped out the last week of April.
Oh no.
Gordon, we're 3 weeks away. We're 3 weeks. What are you doing? I just don't want to do it. And maybe there's something else going on in his life that he felt like he couldn't hang out for 3 more weeks. But I still feel sad about that. And every time I think about that, I don't want to quit. I'm too close. And everybody out there, everybody who's listening, you're close to something. I don't know what you're close to, but there's some accomplishment in your life that you are just inches away from finishing. Hang in there. Just 5 more minutes.
I love that. Yeah, there's this really good video. I would encourage you to look it up. It's called 3 Feet from Gold. And it was about these miners who had searched for gold. They knew it was in this area. They looked, and they were ready to give up. And they actually did. And they sold the land. And it turns out where they were digging was 3 feet from a huge gold source. And, quitting, you'll never win if you quit. So I'd love to hear in the chat, people. I'm so glad you're here today. What does success mean to you? What are some success tools that you have used? And what are some of your dreams that you want to accomplish? Put it in. Let's get a dialogue. In the meantime, I'm going to share with you a story. And this was from one of my mentors, Lisa Nichols, who I absolutely adore. She is just she's just flat out amazing. And in what Lisa says is that she said that she was in high school, she was on the swim team, she was a freshman, and she's like, and then she went over to her grandmother's and said, and her grandma said, "Why aren't you at the meet?" And she says, why? I always come in dead last. That's what she says, dead last. I always come in dead last. It's not worth it. I want to quit. And her grandma said to her, you can't quit. She said, because winners never quit and quitters never win. So she decided, I'll go to the swim. I'll come in dead last like I always do, but I'm not going to quit. So she goes to the swim pool and where the meet is taking place, and her coach says, "Here, get in this lane and go swim." And as she's swimming, she's repeating, "Winners never quit, quitters never win, winners never quit, quitters never win." And she swam her heart out. Winners never quits, quitters never win. And she's looking at both lanes, and she's not seeing anybody. And she's thinking, "Well, I'm dead last again." She gets to the end of the meet of her sprint, and her coach comes over to her and says, and she's like looking, and there was nobody there, and she's like, I came in dead last. Well, it turns out she came in first, and not only did she come in first, her coach came over to her and says, Lisa, you did it. Not only did you win this heat, this was a senior heat, not a freshman heat, and you made the school's record. So again, always remember, winners never quit, quitters never win, and you can get this success. Don't quit. You're 3 feet from gold.
And there's different ways to measure success: money, fame, power. My favorite measure of success is happiness. I don't care if I'm living in a one-room shack. If I've got my wife, my kids, and I've got 3 square meals a day, I'm happy. I don't need a Mercedes-Benz. I don't need $1 million salary. So success is measured in different ways. And I think it's an old lawyer joke. What do you call an attorney that makes $70,000 a year? Your Honor.
Well, yeah, they say that the A students are the professors, the B students are the judges, and the C students are the ones that make the money.
Right. So what's the measure of success? Is it the money? Is it the power? Is it the Mercedes-Benz in the driveway with the yacht? I mean, what is your measure of success?
Yeah, so everybody's different. So yeah, what is your measure of success? Put it in the chat. We'd love to see. You guys are awfully quiet today. Yeah, so we've already talked about persistence and consistency. We talked about desire. We talked about not quitting, taking action, and then not having, if you have a subconscious belief that's going to stop you, you need to deal with that. So you're graduating soon, and then and you're starting a new job, right?
Yep.
Any desires to up level in your job, like go into administration? No. You just want to take care of your patients.
So if you start the clock from kindergarten, I've been on this journey about 50 years, half a century. I'm done with school. I'm done taking tests. I'm done writing papers. I know I'm going to have to, there's going to be the odd class or refresher course or something I'm going to have to take. No, I just want to go and take care of my patients. I want to deliver babies and put together families and just continue to have those experiences. If for some reason, because of my doctorate, I can sit on a board, I can make decisions, I can help the next generation coming up, I will be by all means do that. But really, I just want to go to work and take care of people.
That's beautiful. And, I think that's great too. And that doesn't mean you don't have hopes and dreams. They're just, doing the best job you can for your patients and having the life that you love with your family and those things.
And that's all I want. I have no desire to have a yacht in the back,
Because you live in the desert.
Well, where would I take a yacht? Yeah, this is it's hot here. So
Well, good. So as I was mentioning, I've got an event coming up June 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it's all about success. It's all about rediscovering your joy, freedom, and passion in your nursing career or your business or whatever it is. Um, and nurses speak, welcome. My measure of success is knowing I've done the best regardless of the outcome. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. It's true. You are the one that has to live with yourself and you set the standards for yourself. So are your standards just getting up, going to work and putting your time in till the end, or is your standards, being the best nurse you can be and giving the best care that you can and having the best life that you can? Because when it's all said and done and you're on your deathbed, you're not going to say, I wish I worked more.
Well, I read in the newspaper a couple of days ago that a multimillionaire died a couple of days ago. And do you know how much money he took with him?
No.
None.
Mm.
All of his money stayed right here. Um, so that's, of course, just anecdotal. But one of my measures of success is I'm a simple person. As I said, I don't want a yacht in the driveway. I don't want riches, and money's an evil. Let me be cursed with it. But I have a roof over my head. My kids have full stomachs. They're comfortable. They're clothed. I don't have much, but what I do have is clean and in good repair, and it's paid for. With the exception of school loans, I don't owe anything to anybody, period. I am I'm more than 3 months, nearly 6 months ahead on every one of my bills. If the world blows up tomorrow or the economy crumps tomorrow, I'm okay for a couple of weeks. That's my measure of success. Yours
The
might be the
financial,
corner office. Mine is just the peace of mind knowing that my kids are taken care of, my family's taken care of, and I've got enough in reserve to make it work.
wonderful. Yeah, everybody's definition of success is different. There's no right, no wrong. I want to travel. I love to travel. So that's my definition of success. Where do I get to go to this year? What new place can I discover? What new culture can I learn about? I really enjoy that. And
Right.
I'm actually taking Spanish right now.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. It's like when I was growing up, the languages came really easy, and now it's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah. One
Yeah.
of the best ways to learn a different language is watch children's programming in that
Oh,
language.
yeah, that's where I learned a lot
Uh,
of my Spanish from
yeah,
Dora
Sesame
the
Street, right? Yeah,
Explorer.
there you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah,
And in
like
the
with the
places
pink.
where you and I live, Spanish is almost a second language. So
We have to speak it
is
to survive here.
we're kind of obligated one way or the other. We have to be able to communicate with people. So
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was saying I have my event coming up, the code newuevent.com. And because it's Memorial Day and it represents freedom and success represents freedom, and we're so grateful for the people that have served our country, I've got a buy one, get one free promo code that I'm going to pop in the chat. So, if you'd like to attend the chat, it's more fun to come together. So, there's your code to bring a friend. You'll get a responder, an autoresponder that thank you for signing up. Here's the link to send to your friends so they can sign up for free. So I'd love to have you, and I'm super excited about this event because we have some really special guests. The first is, which you are the very first people to hear because she said yes yesterday. And who has the most who has overcome the most and is the most resilient nurse that you can think of? Put it in the chat. Who do you think it is?
Redonda.
Former nurse. Let's call her a former nurse.
Redonda.
Yes, Redonda is going to be speaking at my event. I'm so excited. And the tickets right now are only $47, and you can bring a friend for free because I always say that, birds that fly together fly faster and farther. So bring a success partner with you and have them join you so you can both get the most out of it. And now, ready for the second guest?
Okay.
The second guest is I'm super excited about. If this person has won 5 medals in the Olympics in track and field, 5 medals, 3 gold, 2 bronze, broke all records. and she's joining us at the event. Now, unfortunately, she did get in a little trouble and had her medal stripped. But this is a story of resilience. This is how she is wired to win no matter what situation. And this is Marion Jones. She was the 5-time Olympian. She also brought UNC basketball to their first uh, championship, and she also played in the WNBA as well. And if you want to hear about success, learn it from people like Redonda and Marianne, who've had setbacks but are still coming out on top. So, and you're going to hear from me, my coach, and other people. Really focusing on wealth, health, and success in your career and in your business. So join us at codenewevent.com and put in the code BOGO code new, and you get to bring a friend. So, okay, so what else can we talk about with success? Let's go back to that weight loss. Mr. Midnow, we were talking about the characteristics of success, and we talked about persistence, consistency, desire, taking action, not quitting, and having the right mindset and not a subconscious belief that's going to sabotage you. What other tools help with success?
Well, I think one of the bigger tools that helps with success is having a dog around. That's always helpful. Is surrounding yourself by people that will bear you up and help you, that will encourage you and just be in your corner, be a cheerleader. That's about as simple a way as I can say it. Is surround yourself with good people that will carry you along.
And that is so important, is to have a success buddy or a success partner who's going to help you, because it's a lot easier to succeed with another person than by yourself. What I always say is I think I've lost and gained probably millions of pounds during my lifetime because I always seem to find the weight that I lost. So now I'm calling it weight release.
There you go.
So anyways, with the weight loss, I'll say to myself, "Oh, I'm not going to have sugar today," and then, "Oh my gosh, chocolate cake! Oh, I got to have some. I'll start tomorrow." And then the next day, "Oh my gosh, there's creme brulee. I got to have it. I'll start tomorrow." And then the next day, "Oh, there's the amaretto gelato. I love that. That's my favorite flavor. I'll start tomorrow." And tomorrow never comes. But if you have a success partner and say, "Hey, Mr. Midwife, would you check in with me tomorrow night and make sure I didn't have any sugar?" I'm much more likely to be successful, right?
Well, and that's kind of the whole premise of the 12-step program, right? Is you have a sponsor, you get a buddy, and when you're feeling tempted or having a rough day or something, you call your buddy or somebody else in the group, and you say, "Hey, I need you to just talk to me for a minute." And the same is true with if I love ice cream and chocolate cake, like you said, and my wife is on a diet, but I keep bringing home the ice cream and chocolate cake, well, she's not going to lose any weight, because when I have some, she's just going to want one bite. Can I have just one bite? And then that one bite is going to turn into, I want a whole bowl. And then before you know it, she's eaten more than she needed to. And the reverse is true. If I'm trying to lose weight and she's bringing home cheesecake and stuff, so if there's two of us in the fight, then we can cook for something different for the kids, and we can eat our vegetables and whatever else that we're trying to lose weight with. So
Yeah, definitely. So so a success buddy, and as Lisa Nichols, one of my mentors, said, is you might need to find a new mental zip code. Okay, you need to your success is surrounded by the 5 people that you hang around with the most. So are you hanging around with people that lift you up or bring you down? The choice is yours. Hang around with the people that lift you up. And if you're in an environment at work where there's people that bring you down, ask yourself, why am I still there? I always say you can always get another job. You can't get another license. So you definitely, if you're not in a good environment, it's okay to change. And people are like, well, I'm afraid to change. I'm afraid to go somewhere else. I'm afraid, the evil you don't know versus the evil that you do know, or if is the grass greener on the other side of the road. You'll never know until you find out. But do your homework on that place. Talk to former employees. They're the best people to talk to because they have all the inside scoop. If you can find them, talk to former employees. Did they like it? Why did they leave? We want to set you up for success in every aspect of your life. And I can tell you that nursing, unfortunately, we eat our young, and we are negative. So I would suggest that you go on what I call a no complaining challenge, and stop yourself. And it's really hard. I've done it, but stop yourself from complaining. Whatever you can do, just try it for. Some of you might not get through an hour. Some of you might not get through a day, but try it. And then if you're around people who are complaining, then politely say, I hear you, but complaining isn't going to solve the problem. What solution can we have to resolve this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a old analogy it's an old fisherman's analogy. Back in the day, before we had big fishing rigs like we have now up in the Bering Sea, fishermen they catch their crabs and they just throw those crabs in a bucket, and they constantly be climbing out or trying to climb out. And why is it that you can put a bunch of crabs in a bucket but none of them will escape? Because as one's trying to climb out, the others behind her are pulling it back down.
Mm.
And so surround yourself by people that are going to lift you up, not pull you down. You've always got people behind you, but are they pushing you, or are they trying to trip you up? Are they pulling you back? Or are they like, I've made it my life's mission, especially in this field that we're in. I get behind people and I push. You want to go to school? Let's get you set up. I get excited for them, and then I follow up with them every other day. Did you look at the stuff? Are you enrolled in classes yet? How's classes going? Because I can't do what I do forever, and I've got to be able to. I need you as a second generation to come in. And I tell you what, if it's me on the table, I'm the one sitting there having a heart attack, and I haven't bothered to train you how to resolve a heart attack, I'm going to have a really bad day. Because I'm the only one that knows how to resolve it, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? So it's.
Yeah, awesome. So we got lots more tools in our toolbox now, and how to deal with adversity, but really how to achieve success. And we've talked about persistence, consistency, mindset, taking the action, and not quitting, and now surrounding yourself with the right mental zip code, and not being with the crabs who are going to pull you down, but who are going to lift you up. Yeah, I always say with my group of masterminds, nurse business owners, that we lift as we climb, that there is no place for eating your young, because, we're a business owner now, and we don't eat our young.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear from you in the audience. What success tools do you have? What do you rely on? Pop it in the chat. And again, I'll put in my event coming up, codenewevent.com. 3 days of success tools. 3 days. We're just giving you a little piece here. Put in the chat. What questions do you have about success? Where are you stuck with success? What tools do you use to be successful? I have a morning routine that I do, and that is I wake up in the morning and I don't grab my phone. Once you check your email or get on someone else's agenda, you're on everybody else's agenda the rest of the day. So I get up, I read something empowering, something that's gonna, I feed my brain with good stuff in the morning. So I listen to a podcast or read, a couple pages of a book to get myself ready for the day. And then I move. I do some kind of exercise. Usually it's a walk or something, 20-minute walk, just to get moving. And when you take time for yourself, self-care is not selfish. When you take time for yourself, it really sets you up for success for the day. So I move, I meditate. That's another great thing that you can do. The Insight Timer, that's free. There's a bunch of free apps online there you can meditate. One of my favorites is the 6-phase meditation by Vishen Lakiani from Mind Valley. Because you visualize your day. And then when you visualize, your mind can't differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. So, and I'll give you an example of that. When in Indianapolis, where I lived for most of my adult life until I moved to California, there was this cornfield. And the next thing I know, they're tearing down the cornfield. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Well, somebody had a vision in their head of putting a church there. So then it came from his head onto paper with the plans. And then the next thing I know, this gorgeous white, it was one of those Church of Latter-day Saints churches came up, and it was absolutely beautiful. But it was somebody's idea in somebody's mind, and they achieved it. So if you believe, or if you conceive of an idea and believe that it can happen, you absolutely can achieve it.
And I had a really great thought going around in my brain, and now it's gone. It'll come back.
Okay. Well, again, our audience, I'd love to hear from you. Put it in the chat. Thanks so much, Nurses Speak, for sharing. But put it in the chat. Questions, comments. What's your measure of success? What tools do you use? Where are you stuck? I'd love to hear from you. Did you find it?
No, it'll come to me as soon as we log off of here. It'll be, oh, that's what I wanted to say.
Why didn't I say that? Yeah.
It'll come.
Well, again, I'm having an event, my first one. I'm terrified, but you get it in your mind, like we talked about. Then you put it on paper. So I've got the agenda written, and now the next thing is to do it. I've rented a studio for it. There's no question I'm scared to do it. But you've got to walk through the fear and do it anyways. Your reptilian brain, that the hindbrain, is designed to keep you safe. It came from the caveman days, where if we walked out of our cave, we could get eaten by a dinosaur or brontosaurus or something like that. And so the idea is that reptilian brain is so strong, and it will keep us in our comfort zone. And that's why many of us don't want to leave our current job, or we're afraid to start our business, or afraid to go for that dream that we have, because the reptilian brain, especially the older we get, wants to keep us safe. And right now, you guys are all at the top of your game as a registered nurse. Many of you are APRNs and soon to be doctors of nursing practice, which is amazing. Many of you are at the top of your game, and you're afraid to start all over by doing something different in a business or a new job, or climb up the clinical ladder, whatever it is. But the only way to achieve success is to get out of your comfort zone and get out on those skinny branches and have it happen. So let me give you an example. Go ahead, Mr. Midwife.
So 2 thoughts. You talked about skinny branches. Bob Ross, who we all know and love, is the happy painter who paints happy trees and has happy accidents. He once said, go out on a limb once in a while. That's where the fruit is. It's never near the tree. It's out on the limb. So go out on a limb once in a while. And then my prior thought, which finally came back to me, self-care. I'm really terrible at self-care, but for anybody who's ever flown on a plane, as you're going through that safety thing, the safety lecture before they, as they're pushing out before they take off, if the oxygen masks fall from your head, put your mask on first and then help the person next to you. Because if you run out of oxygen, now you're passed out, you'll never get your kid's oxygen mask on. You've got to be able to survive the event in order to help the next person.
Yeah.
And as I was considering going back to school, at this point, I'm like 48 years old. I'm too old. I'm going up against these 20 and 25-year-old kids that are they're going to outpace me at every turn. I'm going to fail. But if I go on and get a master's degree, if I go on and get a doctorate, period, that will blaze a trail for my children, my grandchildren, the rest of my posterity. I may or may not ever be successful at this, but if I've cleared the brush and cleared the rocks and fill in the potholes so that my kids coming behind me can have a roadmap for their own success, I may trip, fall, skin my knee on the way, but I've cleared trail. I broke trail so that my kids have a roadmap to get there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Once you have the destination, you can build the roadmap to get there. But if you don't have the destination, you're going to like hop in the car thinking you're driving to New York and wind up in Florida. So you have to know what the destination is so you can create it. Just like the builder, the architect of that building, the church, he knew exactly what he wanted, put it on paper, and then the next step was just to build it. So again, people who are watching us, thank you so much for coming. I'd love to hear in the comments any success tip or strategy you have. And sometimes declaring what your dream is, it always helps it happen. So put in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. What are your dreams? What success tools do you use? Where are you stuck? How can we help? We'd love to help. And in the meantime, go to codenewuevent.com. Tickets are only $47 for a 3-day event with Redonda Vaught, Olympic athlete Marion Jones, myself, and several other guests, and phenomenal content just for nurses. So, and it's BOGO this weekend for Memorial Day. So just use BOGO code new in the promo code, and you can bring a friend because you're going to learn better with somebody else with you.
When you hear this in job interviews all the time, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself still as an RN? Okay, fine. Do you want to own a business? Do you want a side hustle? Have you always had that dream to do whatever, X, fill in the blank? What's stopping you? What is stopping you? Is it financial? Is it time? Is it motivation? Is it fear? Lots of things will stop us. But first thing you got to do is look yourself in the mirror and say, where do I want to be in 5 years?
Great. And let's go back to the talking about weight loss. So I believe that you have to, that for everything, there's prices and payoffs. Prices are what are you willing to do to get that result? And the payoff is what do you get by not doing it? Because there are payoffs for us not doing things. There are payoffs for me being overweight. I don't have to diet. I can eat whatever I want. I don't have to buy new clothes. Those are all payoffs. And then there's probably some subconscious payoffs as well, such as I won't be as attractive or things like that. So I'm safe because I'm carrying extra weight. So the prices that I'd have to pay to get the result to lose weight, I would have to, follow the diet. I'd have to get new food. I'd have to throw out the food that I shouldn't have. I'm going to have to be very disciplined and regimented. I'd have to, my 4-letter word, cook. So there are lots of prices that I have to pay. And for any change to occur, you've got to be willing to pay the prices and willing to let go of those payoffs, those things that keep you where you're at.
And same stick, flip it around 180 degrees, look at the other end of the stick. If I don't at least try, if I don't put forth an effort, I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to resent the people around me for not encouraging me. Um, I'm going to resent all those people that I feel are passing me by on the freeway. Um, I always wanted to be a midwife. I went, you went to school. I didn't get to go. I hate you because you did what I wanted to do and I didn't get the chance. And so you're filled with resentment and frustration, like I said, and all those negative feelings, but you never tried. You never looked, you never got online and looked up, what do I need to do this? How much is it going to cost in time? How much is it going to cost in money? How much is it, what's the commitment? Um, there's a, I think it was a celloist. Um, After a concert, some man approached him and said, I would give anything, is what he said. I would give anything to be able to play like you. I said, no, you wouldn't, because you haven't done it. If you really wanted to play like me, you'd be playing like me. But you haven't put forth the effort. You haven't even bought an instrument. You haven't looked up. You haven't taken a class. You haven't. So you wouldn't do anything to play the way I play.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah. So again, think about the prices that he has to pay to be able to play like that. And he's not willing to pay those prices.
Lessons, practice, sore fingertips from holding the strings. Same as me. I get up every morning at 3:30 in the morning, not because I love getting up at 3:30 in the morning, but because it's quiet, it's cool. My kids won't be out of bed for several hours, and that's when I drill down on homework. That's when I drill down on the papers that I have to write, because it's quiet. I can think. But that's the price I have to pay. I have to give up some sleep in order to get this far.
Yeah.
I kick myself every day for having to get out of bed at 3:30 in the morning, but hopefully this next degree will make a difference somehow. I don't know how, but it'll make a difference. It will in my life. For me, the payoff is there.
Well, and for the patients that you serve.
It'll help the patients. It helps. It's been a dream of mine for years to get that terminal degree. I'm breaking trail for my kids, which is probably the biggest payoff. And so it's worth getting up at 3:30 in the morning and losing sleep for 5 years. To me, it was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. And because you were willing to pay the prices to get up early to get the results that you want.
Right.
Okay, well, we're approaching the top of the hour. And again, any last comments we'd love to hear in the chat, please let us know. Did you get value from this? We'd love to hear. And if you're watching on replay, great. So glad you came by to check this out. And I hope you use some of these tools in your life and in your practice, and come to the codenewyouevent.com. We'd love to see you there. And but we've talked about a ton of tools that you can take away today and start implementing in your life to have the life that you want to lead and deserve to have. Just because we're a nurse, just because we are caregivers, doesn't mean that we still have to take care of everybody else. We get to take care of ourselves. We should be our number one patient.
Right.
So, well, again, thank you for coming, Mr. Midwife. I truly appreciate you being here, and I'm congratulations to you for your doctorate next week. And
wait 2 weeks and you can congratulate me after I'm done sweating bullets. And I'm so nervous, I'm like throwing up.
Oh, well, anything.
I'm pretty sure the paper's done. I just got to do the presentation, and then but still, it's nerves. So.
Well, you were willing to pay the prices and let go of the payoffs to get the result you want, and be persistent, consistent, and you had that desire. So I wish you the best. I wish you the best in your new career or your new job and with your new degree.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks everybody for coming. And I hope to see you at the Code New You event. And let me know what you thought of my first YouTube live stream. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye.